Since we are in a bit of a drought on FNAF news this year, I think we can take another look at Security Breach. But instead of looking at the base game, I decided to look at some of the mods that focus on expanding the Pizzaplex. Last time I did a video about a mod Cut Content Restored, and because the mod was huge, the whole video was dedicated to it alone. This time, however, we can look at 3 separate mods that change the game a little less. Of course, sometimes these mods may overlap in what they add, but that shouldn't stop anyone from giving them deserved attention. So let's get straight to business with the first mod. Pizzaplex Archives Restored, previously known as Pizzaplex Airlocks Restored, by MG Plays Games. It is a mod that does what it says in the name and even a bit more. The main idea is to add the many airlocks between attractions, tunnels and hallways, and to connect it all into one coherent building. Many of these airlocks look unique in their own ways, especially the ones that connect the atrium with attractions. Like for example, one of the airlocks to the daycare, one of the ways to the bakery with a working escalator, the main airlock to Monty Golf, a connection to Saloon, also with a working escalator, a restored airlock to the raceway, and one of my favorites, one of the several airlocks to Cascade. The main lobby also gets some neat connections, to the atrium through a vent, 2 food courts, and special stairs to Cascade. Cascade itself, aside from having airlocks on all sides, gets an additional door to the security office. While Bonnie Ball gets a shortcut to Venice hideout. There are many more interconnections between locations, but let's look at some other changes. The biggest new addition is the backstage. Of course, this is not the only mod that adds it, but it's always nice to see it in the game. This backstage has connections to surrounding areas, as well as catwalks that connect it to the balcony overlooking the saloon, and the expanded balcony of the atrium. Aside from this expanded balcony, the atrium also now has an addition of a second food court. Although it has a bit different lighting when compared to the one we already had on the other side, but maybe I just messed up something. The VIP room is back, together with the backstage kitchen. Rockstar Row now has white walls and a wet looking floor. Raceway was greatly expanded. The second half of it is now finished, functional, and it is also connected to the saloon. There is a whole new area right under the track that connects the endgame elevator with the other side of the raceway. The basement under the raceway was also greatly expanded, with cart storage and gas processing room. Overall, the mod expands the B1 and B2 basements under the entire Pizzaplex, or at least creates some spin on them. I don't really remember how they are supposed to look. Father Blast now has an area under this spiral staircase, and it leads to the server room. Which connects to the security office. The bathrooms behind the laundry have a new staircase leading straight down to sewers. The original tunnel with Monty's Chase has been restored. As well as VAT room near the loading dock. Overall, there are not that many new items to find in these new areas. I found only 2 notes, but maybe there is more. Several honorable mentions. The mod restores some cut voice lines.
I am detecting blood. You are injured.
Don't worry about it. It's just a scratch from the vent. I'm fine.
Your arm is cut badly. I will take you to a first aid station.
The new minimap is much more useful than the vanilla one. And in the end of the game, you can get a new quest that will reward you a battery upgrade for Freddy. Now, when it comes to problems, since the elevators are now gone, you will have a problem similar to that of cut content restored, that is, performance issues, mostly in places that are between several areas. Also, the lighting in some areas can behave strange. I tried different settings just to be sure, but that doesn't seem to affect it. Overall, this mod can be a fine addition to the collection if you are ready to deal with some performance issues. Next mod is Polar's Custom Maps by Polar Sense, and it takes a bit of a different approach. The first change you may notice is a rework of lighting in some areas, that makes them more saturated or brighter. Although I would say that sometimes it can look a bit too much, it certainly adds a sense of novelty. Of course, the changes don't end here. You will see some new airlocks between the areas and the absence of the elevators. Backstage already feels like the usual guest in every mod, with its usual connections to Rockstar Row and the saloon balcony. Although the door leading to the atrium balcony right now is closed. Rockstar Row became pink and has an overhauled look and a wet floor, like in the previous mod. Basement 1 has some new additions, while Parts and Service also has a change of lighting. The window overlooking the Roxy Raceway returns to Bonnie Bowl and works in both directions. The daycare gets already familiar airlocks to the atrium. And of course the Fascade also gets its share of airlocks. The lobby now looks very different, and here's a comparison. There are smaller additions like the statues in the atrium, but I think the biggest additions in this mod are the cleaned up road to Roxy Raceway, or well, the first half of it, and El Chips is now merged with the arcade, and now this place is a one giant hall. Usually when mods remove the elevators, it leads to a huge performance loss, but it seems this mod is unique. While the mod indeed removes the elevators, the game still runs surprisingly good. Yes, there's a bit more lag than in vanilla Security Breach, and there are some additional loading zones, but overall I would say the mod was optimized well. While exploring, I had framerate drops in the atrium several times, but they were quick to disappear. There are several glitches I encountered, and they are mainly related to lighting, like at the beginning after the first security office, or there were several props that look as if they were missing shadows. But these problems are very sparse and don't affect the overall experience, so if you want to replace Security Breach with some extra sauce, I'd say this is the mod for you. The last mod is a little bit insane, and I don't think I'm exaggerating. If you remember this line from Freddy,
These utility tunnels connect all the attractions.
And if you ever felt like the utility tunnels barely exist in the base game, then you better prepare yourself to get lost in this mod. B1 and B2 main restored by Millicop is a mod that shows us the true potential of the Pizzaplex basement. Now the main stage lift and the tunnels near Parts and Service have hallways leading into different directions. These hallways connect to the tunnels that connect to either some new underground areas, or to attractions, or to more tunnels, or to more tunnels, or even more tunnels, and maybe even more tunnels. Now, do not fret too much, the mod does provide you with tools to navigate here. The new minimap is very helpful, as well as plenty of notes that tell you in an immersive manner the meaning of signs, colors, abbreviations, etc. All these locations are connected to most of the already existing sections of the underground. Pretty often you will stumble into the familiar areas that will give you a sort of understanding of where you are right now. But even with all those factors, I got lost here more times than I can count. The shoes upgrade is very helpful here. Plenty of hallways are very long, and I can't imagine running in them without this upgrade. Some of the new areas you can find here are the ginormous boiling room, that apparently has an additional quest that you have to install separately, the gas processing area, and some smaller parts under attractions, like this section under the Monty Golf, the already familiar go-kart storage under the raceway, and more. The performance of this mod feels pretty solid. There are several areas where the loadings are a bit annoying, and I had these rendering problems several times, probably because I was running around too fast, but overall this mod doesn't seem to affect my PC too much. All these tunnels are very immersive, and I can only imagine how this mod plays with something like free roaming AI, because apparently they are compatible. At least I see there's a bug fix in the patch note related to this mod. If it feels like I'm aimlessly running around, you'd be correct, because at first I got lost and spent 10 minutes searching for Roxy Raceway, and then I got lost again searching for a way into the daycare. So yeah, the mod does its job. And if you think this is not enough, the archive of this mod comes with versions that let you choose compatibility with either Pizzaplex Airlocks Restored or Polar's custom maps, so you could have the ultimate Pizzaplex experience of your choice. Well, that's it for now. 3 mods to expand Security Breach, each one with their own pros and cons. All links will be in the description. Thank you for watching. Press like and subscribe if you liked this video, watch another one if you want to. Good luck, and I'll see you again soon.